do some concepts, like live concepts, or not live, popper concepts. Um, I've come to the realization that a single piece is always better than multiple pieces glued together. So there's a pattern like the crease fly is multiple pieces, folded together. Yes, it has some action, but a solid hunk of foam, like glued onto the hook, will outperform better action, uh, across the board, everything. It's gonna be a little bit heavier, but would still be castable. Same thing for like a frog pattern. A solid piece is gonna be better than multiple pieces glued together. So I want to think about a solid piece concept, but I want it to have some character in terms of shape. Because that's also important. The Dahlberg diver has a nice head shape, and it adds to the action of the fly. So that in my head, I was thinking like a W, some kind of W, and fold, and then incorporate that into a popper head. So bear with me while we get started on this. Uh, this might fail miserably, but you'll be there to see it if it does. Okay. I'm going to try to keep in focus more today. Um, Hopefully it's successful. I'm going to go. Let's just start with 2 mil to start. We'll do 2 mil to start, and a strip. And just start with a strip like this, rectangular piece, cut it to size. And I was thinking W shape, solid head W shape. Solid head W shape. If you can get the W shape so this is why I call it W shape, because it looks like a W. If you get the W shape and then have one of the folds behind, it creates a little lip. This isn't as thick as I'd like, so we might have to double up. Let's try to do the W with the 2 mil, 4 mil rather. I don't think it's gonna work. Well, yeah, it does actually. It does work. Oh, buddy. That works pretty well. There's a lot of tension, so I don't know if it's gonna hold. But that's almost perfect. That's exactly what I want. Solid piece, solid block, but still has some character. Ooh, that's nice. I need a longer piece. Maybe a green. Yeah, we got some. This is not a very froggy green. Okay. Cut out a piece of this. move that over there. So get the W. Make a solid block. There is an issue of height, and if this is too tall, it's going to land inverted. There are some snakehead flies that like a topographic map, they glue foam on top of each other with the purpose of it landing upside down. So I might have to take off of one of the W's. So now it's like an S shape. That is the concept right there. I'm gonna notch this out. I don't know why I'm notching it out. Maybe I shouldn't. How did we have this? And I want it resting a little bit behind. I gotta clean this up. This is very rudimentary. Then I think I have to angle this. Create a little angle. Little angle. The mass, the face, you know, isn't going to create the action. It's the mass of the foam, like it's like sinking a big hunk of foam. That's what's going to give it the action. Let's start glue in, and then do I cut? Do I cut now? All right, now we're committed. So this is going to be our shape, but we want to glue it into a solid so it's just one hunk. That's going to be our shape right there. Yeah. So let's start getting it together. So it's not a W, it's an S. And then I'm going to do just one, try to get this one at a time. One side at a time, that is. Spread that around. And then fold it over. I'll let it set. Fold it over. Let's get this side. Fold it over. And let it set. Yeah, that's a good hunk of foam. I'm thinking the connection is going to be an incision, and then hopefully being able to just kind of squeeze it on itself. So let's get a thread base. How thick do we need the thread? I'm just going to use regular thread. No, that's not covering well enough. Let's use a thick. No, I want it thin. So we want a thin thread. A little thread base. thicker thread would create buildup here, and then it'd be harder to sink in. Let's get some hackle legs. Some hackle legs going. We'll use these soft hackles. A few of them. And then some saddles as well. A little soft hackle action here. And then here. I'll trim that later. Pretty puny little. Here's some saddles. Oof. A little bit darker saddle. Shorter, darker. This is a good one. This is a good one. Throw on our saddle hackles. Do we need anything else? I don't know. If you had a block you could cut, there's Alvin Dido has the Dido poppers cut from a block of foam. Kind of the same principle as what I wanted to achieve here. And rubber legs you could thread through. I think that's enough in terms of thread. Not perfect. Should be good enough. Let's get our hunk. And I want to angle it a little bit deeper toward the butt, or maybe deeper toward the head, or maybe just same. I'm gonna score it down the middle. We'll just go even score. I'm going to notch it a little bit so I can squeeze it on itself. Notch it out a little bit, create a little V. V-notch. There we go. That's good. So we cut out a little V. Maybe. Do I need to go deeper? Let's see. Let's see how it's sitting. Tapering the back would be ideal. I'm going to go just a touch deeper. Throw some glue on here, a little glue on the outside here. Go ahead, drop it in, deep as you can get it. And then we squeeze. Try to close that up. I might need to hold that there for a bit. My legs are getting all jacked up. squeeze. Yeah. Very ugly. Not the prettiest pattern. How can we make, oh, we gotta squeeze more. Maybe we should have gone in just a touch deeper. You could use a lighter to thread or to soften the edges and kind of close up the gaps, melt the gaps up. But the concept was take one piece, one hunk, create just one solid hunk of foam from a strip, not gluing multiple pieces, together. This will have a better action. I want it to dive, create a little bubble with that forehead. It's not spinning, but I didn't get that gap completely closed. I should have gone a little bit deeper or spent more time setting it, but I think that's as good as we're gonna get it for now. Rubber legs, you can thread some legs. I'm gonna go right into the foam, avoiding the seam ideally. Yeah, we avoided the seam. So pierce that with the bodkin. We got thread, some rubber with a little monofilament. Insert the mono through our little hole. And we can use this loop to thread in legs. What color legs? Green on green. Green legs. How many? 3? 3's a lot. I don't know if I can get 3 through. We'll try. Oh, no, I think I'm gonna break the rubber. Oh, it's going. Let's just pull this side through now. Oh, we're through. I was thinking you didn't need to glue it because the tension would keep them in, but yeah, I think you definitely need to put a drop on each side. Just a little drop. I'm gonna pull and then drop, and then it'll kind of bring it in, yeah. So recess into the hole. So we don't have a taper toward the back, which is not very cool. It'd be better if it was a little taper toward the back. And then we have these folds on the side you have to contend with. You could paint it. You could coat it with something. You could melt it, kind of melt it away. Or you could just leave it. Is it going to be durable enough? That's a huge question. But I think the action, it would be good. You could throw some eyes on there if you really wanted to. It doesn't need it. I think that would be enough. So it's just the S-shape popper, S-shaped diver rather. Yeah, let's throw some eyes on there. Might as well. We notched out our little nose portion so we can set the eye there. A little bit of glue. Set the eye. Quickly place it and let it set. Some kind of decorative pieces. You could put some dots on her. Like so. Give her a little side action. And then a few on the belly. A little bit ridiculous. It was easy enough to tie. I will let you know if it works. I think it will. A solid foam head is the way to go. Maybe it looks like it has a backpack, so maybe call it like the backpack frog. You could do a hackle wrap toward the back end, kind of fill that out. I'm trying to think what else could make this better. Closing the belly, maybe gluing in like a belly piece, but I don't think it's necessary. So notching, maybe notch the V wider, a deeper incision, and then a more forceful close. But it doesn't spin at all, which is nice. No spin. No spin. All right. That was the only concept I had. I think I'm gonna tie a few more flies today. Stick with the foam. Stick with the foam. No. Let's do something else. This is a huge left turn. but I need some hare's ear nymphs. I was looking at my box and I got a lot of pheasant tail darker nymphs, but I don't have a lot of hare's ear lighter color nymphs, so I need some of those. Let's try to clean this up a little bit though. Oh, no, there is something we have to do today. So I found this arts and crafts material, and I wanted to use it. This is kind of felt. They make little accessories with this felt, but I thought it looked like good fly tying material. But I don't know how long it is. You could dub with it. I don't think it's good. I don't think you could do a streamer. Yeah, it's quite brittle. So it's just gonna, it would be dubbing. Or a head material. But that's just dubbing. Traditionally just dubbing. Maybe we could use there's kind of a camel color here. And quite a lot, actually. Interesting. Then there's this darker coffee color. Let's blend this up. See what we get. You could do a woven nymph, bringing it together, cording it. You could do like a waltz worm style pattern. You'd have to thin it out. Yeah, let's do one of those. That's kind of hare's ears-ish. Heavier, bigger hook. Good one. So this would be an anchor. We'll put a 3.8 tungsten, 3.8 millimeter tungsten bead on there. This would be a caddis larva pattern, traditionally. Now build up just a little taper, not too much. And then, so we blended the material, we corded the material, but it was quite thick. So I'm gonna try to thin it out. So I have about a quarter of it now. clean up the ends, tie it in nice and high. I'm gonna draw it together again and just wrap it. The simplest fly ever. And that's about it. You could do a rib, like on a wire rib or something like that. The shagginess of the body isn't a problem. I think most people would kind of trim it out, clean it up, but leaving it a little shaggy is actually quite good. This isn't going to impede the sink rate at all. A business decision would be if you put some kind of thorax. A lot of people would do like a hot spot, some kind of flashy thing. A more conservative approach would be just a couple wraps of peacock curl. But leaving it like this, you would catch fish all day, every day. We'll just do a little bit of peacock curl. Give it a wrap. 1 and 2. That's all it needs. Sink it down. Trim it out. Whip it up. Simple anchor flies are good. Simple anchor flies are good. You're fishing 2-fly system, Euro nymphing, even under an indicator. You're gonna want this on the shorter tag. The heavier fly on the shorter tag, the lighter fly on the longer tag. Trust me, when you're nymphing, some people will try to stagger their patterns so they're at different water, different areas in the water column, but having your your heavier pattern, like I'll give you an example. So here's your leader, and you're gonna tie a double or a surgeon's knot, connecting your leader material. So you tie your surgeon's knot, and then you're going to trim off one end, and you're going to be left with a longer piece. This is the leader, in line with the leader, and then a shorter tag. A lot of people will tie the heavier fly on the longer end, and then a smaller pattern up top, thinking that they're fishing different areas of the water column, like one fly high, one fly low. What I suggest would be tying the heavier pattern on the shorter, and then the lighter pattern on a longer trail. And so both are at good, suitable depths, deep, both are deep, and then the lighter fly is trailing the heavier fly, but both flies are deep. Try it, you'll be surprised. You might be concerned about this getting tangled, the shorter, heavier tag getting tangled, but and it will, but more often than not, it works out. Give it a try. So that was our waltz. Let's do more of a the waltz is a kind of caddis larva. Let's do more of a mayfly. We can use that synthetic. The synthetic was okay. Our craft store synthetic material was okay. We need a smaller bead. Here we go. What size? These are 2.8s. These will work. A little bit smaller hook. Okay. Looking for a different color thread. I don't have like a browny tanny thread, but olive might be better than black. Olive might be better than black. Threading the bobbin. Threading the bobbin. Who's watching World Cup soccer? I don't even know who's playing. Get our bead started. Lock it in. Tail. Tail, 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 tail. I like a biot, but it might be too big. There's some smaller biots toward the base. I think those would be good for a smaller nymph. And we'll tie these in. That's two, I have two. Like so. One more. I like the biot because it's durable. It's a durable tail. Just tie that up. Sneak in one wrap in between the biots. Just spread them a little bit. That didn't. Yeah. All right. And we get our synthetic. Pull out a pinch. Braid it, cord it together. like you would a dubbing rope, and then we'll wrap it for our abdomen. Wrap it up, rolling it as we wrap. Doesn't have to go all the way up. Take it out, lock it in. This one I do want to trim up a little bit here, the abdomen. I need a thorax material, and then I need leg material, and then I need a wing case. The wing case, I would like something flashy. Flashy. Crystal flash. But yeah, wing case first. Here's a piece of crystal flash. It's barred. It's kind of black and silver, which is cool. So we'll use that. I'm gonna quadruple it over itself, so we get a little bit better coverage. You can even do more than that, but I think it'll be overkill. Trim up the butts. Go ahead, tie it in, one loose, and then draw it to length. We want it riding beneath the jig, so the jig is going to ride this way, so we want the wing case on this side rather than the back side. And I'm going to tie it in pretty far down the abdomen. I like a 50-50 abdomen thorax split for my mayfly patterns. The mayflies are pretty wide, surprisingly wide. People tie very slim nymphs, which is good because they sink faster. But the actual mayflies themselves are pretty wide. Material for the thorax, we can use this, yeah, might as well. Or you could just do like peacock herl or something. Yeah, we'll use the remainder of our craft store material. And then I'm going to roll it, bunch it up. I want it wider than the abdomen. Roll, wrap and roll. Wrap and roll. All the way to the end there. Give it a trim. My gut tells me just fold over the wing case and then do a nice CDC. That's what my gut's telling me. Listen to my gut. Let's fold over the crystal flash. The barred crystal flash, it gives a nice effect. It's not just a fully flashed. It's got a little black in there. I like it a little bit more subtle, which is nice. They have blue, they have different colors of barred crystal flash. Trim it close. Securing wraps. Trim this out a bit here. CDC, we don't need much. Little olive might be nice. We'll just use this little tip section here. Clip it up. Trim it out. Split your thread. Insert. Close it up. This is a little heavy, so I'm gonna thin it out a little bit, pulling some toward the middle, hopefully leaving enough so we can get some full wraps. Spin it up. Spin it up. Preen and wrap slow. There's one that got trapped right there. Pull it through. Ideally getting even distribution, sides, tops, bottoms. Before I wrap anymore, I'm gonna let the thread unwind, then we'll whip it. Pretty good distribution, except a little bit light on this side, a little bit heavy on this side, which isn't a problem. So we're just gonna even it out by pulling off of this side. No, pulling off of the bottom maybe. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we can thread down, a little whippy. I like the yarn color turned out kind of olivey. So a little blue olive nymph. Nice, good pattern. Eventually, there'll be some durability issues, but as it gets worn, some of the fibers will break, and that'll actually add to the character of the pattern. But I think eventually all of it will start coming undone. So be warned. Let me check my time. Yeah, that's good. Let's review our work. Oh man. No, careless. Check this out. All right, so we tied us a frog. One big piece of foam is what I like. You know, big block of foam has good action. So we S-folded a piece, and then we made an incision and just glued it on the hook. We were doing great until our leg got glued to our eyeball because I didn't pay attention. I don't know if it's gonna pull off. Oh, we broke it. So this one is just the concept. I was hoping like a big square block of foam, good fly. but I was hoping adding this little forehead would give it a little different action. So this is an experimental one. And then we used our craft store felt to tie some nymphs. And how we did that, we just pulled some of the felt out, and then we rolled it into a cord, and then we wrapped the cord like yarn. So we did a waltz worm style pattern, caddis larva, simple, good. And then we did a flashback little mayfly with the corded up craft store material. We did a barred crystal flash for the wing case, and then a little olive CDC for the legs. So it's just a simple mayfly nymph. Weird selection today, but that's it. All right, catch you next time. It's a shame about that leg. Actually, you can't even tell. There's enough rubber on there. You can't even tell. See ya.